I'm Megan Nyland. I work out of one of the corporate offices in Kent, Ohio. I focus primarily on training and employee development for our utility vegetation management service line. I also supervise our recruiting team, so kind of involved in the whole onboarding and orientation process from the very beginning. And the purpose of this webinar is to introduce you to the different resources that are available, where to find information, how to navigate some of those resources. As you have questions in the future, you have an idea where to start that process and start looking for some of that information. So the first site that I have pulled up here is our learning management system. You'll also hear it referred to as the LMS, or maybe even Brainy, or Brainier, simply the platform that we use for our learning management system. And this is obviously where you've all been accessing your training courses online and going through that information. But there's a lot of other stuff going on in here too. And just want to make sure that you understand how to use it, and if you're having any types of issues, what you can do about it. So when we log in, we come to this landing page. When we scroll down, there's a number of different tiles, different things that we can access. If we start at the top row here, this Davey Dose in this season of learning. Every year at the beginning of the year, our Davey Institute does a series of virtual learning sessions on really a variety of different types of topics. So these are like 20 or 30-minute sessions on, could be plant disease, could be different types of products, could be a different type of technology or tool that's available. And these are areas that you can click into these tiles, see the different topics that they've covered, and it's kind of for your information or as you're interested type of thing, just to, expand upon your own learning, that stuff is available for you, that you can always jump in and check that out. We move down to the next row. We've got our health and safety tailgates. These come out to every month from the safety department, and these tailgates cover different types of hazards that we're exposed to, different things we need to be aware of on the job, how to control different types of situations, just to keep ourselves as safe as possible. And you'll cover these every week with your team safety meetings, your team calls that you have. You can easily click on this tile to access and see those tailgates so that you're prepared for any of those types of things. As we come across here, if at some point you are looking to do your ISA Certified Arborist exam, you can click into this preparation tile, and there are modules that go over each of the different chapters to prepare for that exam and really help you to study and absorb that material a little bit better. I've had really great feedback from folks going through the preparation materials and doing really well on those exams. So if you get to that point, make sure to check out those resources as well. If we go down a little bit further, we have our own training tile, the DRG UVM training group tile. We've developed a full curriculum of courses that kind of take you from the foundations that you're working through right now, all the way up through different skills and competencies up to the leadership or management level. So we'll come back to that here in a little bit, but always know that that's there, easy for you to access. And probably the last one I would point out is the Success Factors training tile. Success Factors is our HR, employee management system, essentially. You've all been assigned the general user training bundle, but you can also access any of those training pieces under the Success Factors tile that kind of goes through how do you get set up within Success Factors and log in, how do you do different types of functions within there, like adding or changing your contact information, maybe your emergency contact. This is where you can access your pay statements. This is where you will enroll in your benefits if you're eligible for those and all that good stuff. So again, you've been trained or assigned the training modules, but you can also find and access any of those training pieces as well under the tile. And then under all of those tiles, you get to your learning section, which all of you have been working through. You simply click on the course, it takes you to that page and you start working through. It's only going to show you a few on that front landing page. It's only going to show 5 at a time. And I know you've got more than 5 classes or courses that have been assigned to you. In that case, in this bottom right-hand corner, you'll be able to navigate to additional pages, and we'll see that in just a second. Once you've started a course, we've got a couple options at the top here. If we click on this Started tab, this is if you've started working on a course and you didn't have time to finish it, you're going to come back to it later. It's going to drop it right here into the Started section. You would simply click on the course and it'll pick right up where you left off. Here you can see there I've got multiple pages of started items that I can jump back into. And then we can also click on the Completed tab to see a record of all of the coursework that we've completed If you need to show verification, do like a screenshot for your manager for a certain course or anything like that, you can do that here. Again, you're going to accumulate multiple pages of these resources and think of them as resources or reference items. You can come back in and click into any of these courses in the future as a reference. So maybe if you're working on utility equipment ID or maybe species ID, you can click back into those courses and see that information again very easily from your completed section. You've already got that there. You can jump back into it if and when you might want to or need to. I will say that from time to time, you might end up with a glitch or some type of a technical issue with a course where maybe it won't let you advance to the next section, or maybe you've completed the course, but it's not showing or logging you as 100% complete. If you have an issue like that, on the little menu on the left here, there is a contact us where you can click in there, and we've got an email box for the LMS team. Simply reach out to them at their email. They're very quick to respond and help troubleshoot any issues. Simply explain what course you're in, what problem or issue you're experiencing, and they're going to help get you moving again, get it logged complete, get you moving to that next section, whatever it might be. And if you have any questions in general about the learning management system or certain types of materials, you can also reach out to them there too. Okay? So this learning management system, not just for the courses that have been assigned to you, but it's really a library of hundreds and hundreds of learning objects. And there are a few different ways that we can search for information in here. So maybe you've had a question from a client or a property owner that's outside your realm of knowledge, or maybe you're ready to start moving things to the next level. Maybe there's something out there that you want to learn more about just for your own personal knowledge. There's a number of different ways we can search. So if I go back to this menu on the left and I scroll down, this little building icon, we can browse for items a few different ways. If I click on Browse by Title, it'll take it a second to load, but it's going to bring up a numeric and alphabetical listing of everything that's available in the learning management system. So you can come in here and you can kind of start scrolling through a little bit and see some of the types of things that are available to you. But if there's something important or specific that you're looking for, it's probably not going to be the most efficient way to search for that something. So if we come back to that little building icon on the menu and we browse by tag, a tag is like a topic area where each of the courses is designated into what is this course about. So here we've got advanced arborist, we've got arboriculture, we've got communication, and we've got multiple pages of these tags that we can look through. If I click on arboriculture, it's going to bring up a collection of courses that have something to do with arboriculture, and this may be very much more efficient for me to find what it is that I'm looking for. You can see we've got multiple pages of objects that we can search through for whatever it is that I might be looking for. We can also use the search bar at the top of the page. And here we really just need some keywords. So if I hit utility and let it go, it's going to bring up a list of items that have something to do with utility in their title. If I go ahead and click enter to search, it's going to bring those items up for me. And as I continue through the pages, I'm going to start to find other things that have to do with utility, even though it might not have utility in the title. So using those keywords in our search bar is another great way to look for something that you may be interested in or wanting to know more information about. I'm going to go back to our dashboard and we're going to jump into that DRG UVM training tile. So we developed a full curriculum, as I said, from the foundational information that you're working on right now, all the way up through leadership and manager competencies and skills that have been identified by your managers. So we call this our UVM tree of knowledge, and we've organized it like a tree where we're moving up from the bottom up. So at the bottom, the level 1 roots learning, this is what you're working on right now. So definitely work through any of your assignments from your assigned courses first before you jump in here and start accessing courses. That just makes sure that you're documented appropriately. But if we come in here and look at this level 1 learning, all you have to do is click on the level and we scroll down through. We're going to see all those courses that you're working on right now as part of this level. If you do come in here later on, it's going to recognize that you have already completed this step somewhere else or this course, so it's optional. You can start it and go through it again if you want to, or you can skip it and it's going to recognize and log you as complete for that item. If we continue to scroll down through here, we get into some items that might be a little bit more regionally specific. So California laws and regs, only going to be assigned to people who are working in California. If you want to see what those laws and regs look like, go ahead and jump into that course. Tree identification courses are also going to be by region, and you've only been assigned that one that's most particular to your region. But if you want to see trees from the other regions, you can jump into those as well. My suggestion is once you've finished up all of your assigned training, and maybe a month or two down the road, you're ready to start building upon your knowledge and taking it to that next level, I would jump in here and go to level 2. So you're going to get a whole new list of courses that have to do with different skills and competencies beyond what you're working on right now. And you can jump into any of those courses in any order. You could do 1 or 2 of them. You could do the whole section. I will say that if you complete an entire section of the curriculum, I'll send you out a certificate of recognition as well as some swag. But this is something that managers might take a look at as well to see, what is this person doing for their personal professional growth? Or they might say, hey, I know this course is in here. I think you might really benefit from it. Why don't you jump in and take a look at that as well? So that's what we want to kind of think of with this tree of knowledge. And as we continue up the tree, we get into more complex or more advanced skills and competencies all the way up to that leadership level. If I roll down under the tree, we've got this other available resources folder. This is kind of an a la carte gathering of courses that have to do with UVM. And it may be something that is interesting to you or kind of help you out. We're coming into autumn and winter, obviously. So for some parts of the country, that might make Tree ID a little bit more difficult. You can jump in and check that out. For areas that have a lot of different ethnic groups, we have some different bilingual translation resources that can help out that are in a variety of different languages. That might be something that you're interested in having. So it's kind of an a la carte collection of different things that you might be interested in. And then below that, we've got our frequently asked questions that just talks about how do we approach this? Where do I start? How does this curriculum work and all of that good stuff? So definitely encourage you to come back to this after you've gone through and gotten acclimated with all of this foundational stuff, get kind of your feet under you and you're ready to start learning a little bit more. I'm going to jump over to success factors because I just want to show you what this looks like when you log in, just a very brief introduction to this. So when you log in, your page is going to look very similar to this. You probably won't have all of the same tiles that I have here, but you will have some of those. If we scroll down a little bit further, this is where you're going to access some of the primary functions within the system. So very simply, if you need to see your pay statements or get a copy of that, you would simply click on the pay statement tile. It'll take you there. And then you can access your current and any prior pay statements that have accumulated. If you're eligible for the employee benefits, you're going to jump into this employee benefits tile. And this is where you will do all your enrollment, entering your information and things like that. And then once you are enrolled, this is where you will see a summary of what benefits that you have and all of that good stuff. Your emergency contact, you can add or change that from this tile. Change of address, same thing here. So it makes it very easy for you to do some of those primary functions that people come into SuccessFactors for. If we click on the View My Profile tile, this is going to be all of your employment information. So your personal information, it'll have information about your employee ID, your manager, the contact information on hand. If you jump down to employment information, that'll get a little bit more specific into your title, your job, your cost center, and all of those types of things. You can also come here to access your pay statement. In fact, I think when you hit that pay statement tile, this is where it's going to bring you, and you would simply click on pay statement. It'll bring those up. So just kind of some of the basic functions of moving around within SuccessFactors and what that looks like. But if you ever have any issues or questions about that, you can reach out to your supervisor about that, or you can also reach out to the HR department for help if you need it. And again, you've got those training modules within the LMS that you can refer to as well. All right, I'm going to jump over to our next site, DRG Connect. So this site is designed specifically for DRG employees and has really a lot of information here. As you move forward as an employee, you're going to have questions at some point. This is a great place to come to find answers to those questions. We've got some tabs organizing information at the top of the page. We've got DRG employee safety, employee resources, supervisor resources, obviously for your managers, and then UVM resources as well. If you click on any of these headers, it'll bring up kind of like a table of contents page that lets you know what information is found underneath that drop down. And for this one, you can either click on that link on that table of contents, or we can go back up to the drop down to access that information. So we're going to start out with incident investigation and reporting. Hopefully whoever has been working with you and training you has talked about what to do if you have an incident. If they have not, ask questions. But we'll kind of go down through this section here real quickly, just to kind of help everybody understand a little bit better what do I need to do if there's an incident, and what to expect. So at the top here kind of goes through the basics of what an incident consists of, and we need to report all on-the-job incidents, injuries, illnesses immediately to your supervisor, no matter how minor, but a lot of times these get turned into the safety department too. So on-the-job incidents, this could be some kind of a vehicle incident, if there's a property damage incident that happens, injuries that occur on the job, illnesses. This would include things like tick bites, bee stings, poison ivy, oak, sumac, all of those things. We want to at least report those so that if it does turn into something bigger that needs medical attention, we've got that documented and on record, and it's going to make it a lot easier to make sure that you're taken care of appropriately. In the glove box of your vehicle, there should be an envelope that has the 3 incident forms. If you find this isn't the case, I highly recommend getting them printed out and having them on hand. As we scroll down the page, we'll be able to find those. If you have an incident and you are in the capacity to start dealing with that incident, these forms are going to help you to focus in, center, and start gathering the information necessary to take care of you, any other parties that are involved, and what have you. Your managers have to turn these forms in within 24 hours. So the more quickly that we can gather up this information, the easier it's going to make that whole process be. If you have an incident, there's going to be an investigation. That simply means one of your supervisors going over everything with you, filling in all the blanks, making sure that we have all of the information that needs to be turned in. In a lot of cases, we do have to report to OSHA, so this process really helps us to fulfill that obligation. There is a severe incident reporting hotline. This is primarily going to be for your supervisors, but the information is there for what do I need to do? Who do we need to contact? How do we get a hold of them if there's something really bad that happens? Here we've got those incident forms. So if you need those forms, you need to print them out or you need to replace one, you would simply click on the resource folder link and it'll take you to PDFs of all of those forms. And then also in a lot of cases, we do have to do post-incident alcohol and drug testing. So we really just want everybody to understand what's required for this process, what to expect so that there are no surprises. But if you have any questions at all about incidents and what you should do and things of that nature, again, don't hesitate to reach out and talk to your supervisor. I'm going to go back up to that DRG Employee Safety tab, and I'm going to go to Policies and Procedures. There's a lot of information on this page, and really it all will pertain to you at one point or another. So the first thing we have on the page is a link to the Safety and Training Manual. This is the same thing as that big giant binder of information that you have in your vehicle. This is another way that we can access and search through that information. If you don't have the binder with you, maybe you're in the office instead or what have you. If we click on the link there, we can go to that Safety and Training Manual. We can find it in both English and in Spanish. And essentially the Safety and Training Manual is the guide for how to perform any job across the company. So here we've got it in English, here we've got it in Spanish, and we would come in here. It's organized by chapter. So say that you have questions about your PPE. There's a chapter on that. Maybe you need to set up temporary traffic control. Well, what's that supposed to look like? How do I know if I'm doing it right? There's a chapter on that. Maybe you're having some questions about electrical hazard identification. There's a chapter on that. There's also going to be chapters on a lot of things that you don't have anything to do with on the job that you're doing. Chainsaw safety, ropes and knots, landscape installation. It really is the guidebook for performing any type of job with the company. Use this resource. There's a lot of great information in here. Don't hesitate to refer to it if you have questions about any aspects of the job that you're working on. Okay. I come back to the DRG Connect page. We've also got information at the top of the page here on MedCore. So what is MedCore? MedCore is a nurse triage hotline that is available to you free of charge 24/7. And it's for those instances where you've had something happen to you medically. You're just not sure how do I deal with this? What should I be doing right now? How bad is it really? You can give them a call, explain what happened, what you're experiencing, and they're going to give you a recommendation. So maybe you should go to urgent care. Maybe you should be in the emergency room. Maybe you should do some ice and Advil. Maybe just give your doctor's office a call. But make sure that you have this 800 number handy in your vehicle so that if you do need it, you can find it very easily. It's a nice peace of mind tool that we have available to us. Don't hesitate to take advantage of that if you feel like you need it. Scrolling down, we've got some information on our PPE policies. This is just kind of the expectations for the PPE that our employees are using. We've got some information then on the safety tailgate program. I don't think the topics are under this link here anymore. We saw in the learning management system where you can access all of those tailgates under the safety tailgate tile. But know that if you already have your ISA certification, these tailgates are eligible for CEUs. So if that is you, make sure that your supervisor knows that so that they get you documented and get you turned in so that you get those CEUs. Okay. Rolling down a little bit further, we have some lone worker policy resources. We know that the majority of our people are lone workers out there. We want you to be as safe as possible. We want you to feel as safe as possible. One of the primary things in that lone worker safety is the check-in and check-out process. Teams have some type of check-in, check-out process that is electronic in nature, whether you're using the lone worker app or your supervisors have a different system set up. Make sure that you're doing that properly every single day. We had several instances within the last year where we had folks that did check in throughout the day, but they did not check out at the end of the day. And because they had checked in, their managers had an idea of where they were working that day. They were able to send team members out to that location. They were able to find those individuals and get them back to safety. And in every one of those instances, they were stuck for one reason or another, and they did not have cell service. They were outside of a service zone. Because they had checked in, the team was able to get to them in a timely manner, and everybody was as safe as they could be. So make sure that you're doing that check-in and check-out process properly. Also know that you have the final say in the safety of a work location. So maybe you are in a very remote area and it looks very difficult to access. You're a little concerned about being out there by yourself and doing that type of thing. Step back, contact your supervisor, talk to them about the situation. Maybe there's an alternative way to gather the information. Maybe a team member can come out so that you're not by yourself accessing that area. Same thing in rural situations, or urban situations, I should say. If you're in an inner city area and you're like, I don't feel like I should be walking around here by myself, make sure that you're talking with your supervisor about those locations. Again, maybe a team worker can come out with you so that you're not by yourself. And in some extreme situations, we have had police escorts for team members. So again, if you feel like a situation is not safe, know that you can step back, go over that with your supervisor and figure what the safest way around this is going to be. Okay. The LBT vehicle GPS systems, short video here that just explains what it is and how we're using it. This is not a real-time tracking system for your managers to know where you are at any given moment. This is a tool that we are using to identify unsafe driving behaviors and coach those to be safer driving behaviors. Vehicle incidents by far our number one type of incident. Obviously, they can be very bad in certain situations. We want to try to eliminate that as much as possible. So this is simply a system where we can identify where maybe things need a little bit of work or improvement and making sure that that happens so everybody is as safe as possible. UVM standards and regulations, depending on how long you've been in the industry. You may or may not be familiar with ANSI, American National Standards Institute. They develop our operational standards and our safety requirements. The ANSI A300 is performance standards. The Z133 is safety requirements. If for some reason you should need to refer to those documents, maybe you need some type of information for your client or what have you, you can simply click on the link here and it'll take you to PDFs of those documents if you should ever need them. Good catches and close calls. These are something that we like to share with our teams and across the company. Any undesirable, unfortunate event occurred. It could have been bad. Fortunately, it wasn't. We want to talk about those so that our team members are also kind of watching out for those same types of things. Each week on your safety calls, a lot of your managers will ask, did anybody have any close calls last week that they want to share? Talk about those types of things. Maybe you're patrolling along the right of way and you almost step in a groundhog hole. Well, that's a close call. Had you stepped in there, you might have twisted your ankle or broken your leg. That's happened to people. So simply by saying that to your team members, it triggers them to also think, you know what? I need to be paying attention where I've been putting my feet. I haven't been doing that lately. That's something I got to watch out for. As we go a little bit further, I'll show you a place that you can submit a close call with your mobile device when you're out in the field. and those go back to the safety department, and they will share those out to managers as well across the company. So kind of a tool that we use to just communicate so everybody's kind of watching out for the things that might happen. Briefings, probably becoming a routine part of your day. Biggest thing with job briefings is just to make sure you're as thorough with those as possible. That may be your last chance to identify a hazard where you're working and do something about it, mitigate it, eliminate it, avoid it, whatever that might be. There's a link to some paper forms here, but I think almost all of the teams have gone to some type of electronic version of job briefing. So whatever that is for your team, just make sure you're doing as thorough a job as you can with that. I've had people say, I work in, quiet neighborhoods. What I looked at and did yesterday looks very much like what I'm looking at today. Why do I need to do a job briefing? Well, that's where we need to be kind of diligent, right? What is different about this work site than the last one that I was on? What stands out here? What do I need to watch out for here that maybe I didn't have to watch out for there? So that's kind of the way you want to think about that. We don't want to get complacent. We don't want to miss something because we think, this is just the same as the last place I was at. That's where we really want to kind of look out for, is there something different? Okay. Crew observation and fire prevention resources. These are going to be more applicable to some than others, depending on the work that you're doing. I know particularly fire prevention, primarily out west in California particularly, but there's a lot of conversation, discussion, and training that goes into fire prevention and things of that nature, that you'll definitely be doing that on your teams if that's where you're working. Scrolling down, worker wellness. This is the same as that MedCore information that we saw at the top of the page. Again, get that 800 number in your vehicle so that you've got it handy if you should need it. If you have prescription glasses, we do have a prescription safety glass program. You're eligible for those once you hit your 90 days. So you'll find information here on how do I get those. We've also got our corporate contact and her information here to help you out with that process. If that's something that applies to you, definitely check it out. Probably a lot more comfortable than having to wear safety glasses over top of your glasses. And then the last thing on this page is our dog bite safety training. This is the same information that you're going to see in the job site safety course that you're taking through the LMS. But a lot of people have concerns about encounters with dogs and other animals. So the information is just kind of what types of things to watch out for, how to make your presence known, how to protect yourself if you have an interaction, those types of things. If you ever have concerns about a location with dogs, you're going to encounter them on the right-of-ways, in yards, at front doors, and potentially other animals too. If you ever have concerns about an area or a location or what have you, just talk to your supervisor about that. There definitely are spots where you'll be like, you know what, there's a dog here and I can't go in there by myself. What do we need to do here? Make sure you step back and discuss that for options. Right, I'm going to jump over to the employee resources dropdown. As you can see, there are a lot of different sections under here. I am only going to hit a few of these, but this is a site that you definitely want to come back to when you've got some time to just click and browse around to see what's in here, see how it's organized, so that if you do need something in the future, you've got an idea of where it's at when you jump in here. Very first thing on the dropdown here is DRG contact information. This is going to give you the contact information for the corporate offices. For any extension that you see for somebody, you can use either one of those 800 numbers to access those extensions. If I scroll down a little bit further, there's information here on the Davie Voice. The Davie Voice is a reporting hotline. So this is kind of like a whistleblower platform. If you are experiencing or observing any activity that you really feel is wrong, it's inconsistent with the company's values and our policies, and needs to be addressed, that's what Davie Voice is for. It is a confidential reporting hotline that the incident or situation will be investigated and rolled up to a point of resolution without any fear of retaliation. So a number of different ways that we can access Davie Voice. You can scan this QR code. They've got a toll-free phone number. They've got a website. And as we go forward, I'll also show you a place that you can access and report easily from your mobile device on through our app. But this is something that if you are in a situation that you really feel like this needs to be dealt with, that's what the Davie Voice is for. And then under there, we've got our important Davie contacts. So as you move forward, you're going to have questions from time to time for some of the different corporate departments to help you out or to get you information or to fix something. This is a good place to come and try to reach out to somebody, right? So you've got all your different corporate departments listed. In some cases, we've got a contact name We've got a phone extension. We've got some direct email boxes as well as some department email boxes. But this is an easy place to try to find somebody to help you out with whatever situation that you're experiencing. DRG Connect, Employee Resources, DRG Contact Information. All right, so back to that drop down. I'm going to run down here to Employment Policies. So in your welcome email, you received a link for the Employee Handbook. You can also access that Employee Handbook here in the link to the folder, and you can find it in both English and Spanish there. Here again, we've got information on Davy Voice. We want people to be able to find it if they feel that they need it. So we find that here in this section. And then we've got your general PTO policies. If you're coming in as a temp to perm or a union employee, this may be a little bit different, and you may need to ask your supervisor what applies to you. For a general full-time permanent hire, this is going to be your general PTO policies. I will say for those coming in as a temp to perm, the time that you are serving now through your temporary agency does count towards your PTO accumulation once you roll over to be a Davy employee. So know that that time that you're working now is being counted towards that and you're getting credit for it. Back to that Employee Resources dropdown, I'm going to hit Employee Benefits. First thing here is business cards. If your manager wants you to have business cards, you simply click on the link here to order those. Stock purchase plan. We've been employee stock owned for 45 years. If we can click on this employee ownership corner and have all information about becoming an employee owner, frequently asked questions, all of that good stuff. All employees are able to be an employee owner once you hit your 90 days. If the stock purchasing window is open, you can purchase that stock. And then once you get to 6 months, you can purchase that stock at a discount. So definitely something you want to take advantage of when you get to that point. Additional employee benefits. There's some additional perks and things that we are eligible for that I'll show you on another page. But definitely check that folder out when you get some time. Again, I'll show you on another platform where we can access and see these benefits too. We do have a referral bonus program. If you have friends or others that are interested in careers with Davy, definitely refer them. There's no limit to how many people you can refer and get paid for hire. So you can get up to $1,000 a person. I think you get half of it when they hit their 90 days and the other half when they hit 6 months. But definitely take advantage of that. So this section kind of walks you through what do I need to do to submit a referral. If you have questions, you can also reach out to your recruiter and they can help you with that referral as well. We do have scholarships available both to employees that may be pursuing additional degrees or certifications. And if you have dependents, there are scholarships that they can apply for as well. We've got some links here to take you to that information and those applications. And then we get to the benefits section. So again, might look a little bit different if you're coming in as a temp to perm or you're coming in as a union employee. But full-time permanent individuals, this kind of gives you a summary of the different types of insurance that are available to you, the health, life insurance, dental, vision, different disabilities that are available, those types of things. You will also see all of that information in SuccessFactors under that employee benefits tile. If when you're going through that enrollment, you have any questions at all, benefits.hr@davy.com. Reach out to the HR department with any of those questions to help you to navigate that process. Sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming or confusing. They are there to help you, so don't hesitate to reach out to them. And the last one I'll point out is just that UVM resources tab. This is kind of an a la carte section that we're adding just a variety of different pieces, information that might be useful or helpful to you. So don't hesitate to jump in here and kind of see what's available. Is there something here that will help me? Is there something here that I can refer to? What have you? It kind of goes through each of the sections and what's available there. Okay. Definitely a site to come back to when you have got some time. Like I said, browse around, click and see what's where and what kind of information you can find. There is a little search icon in the upper right-hand corner that if there's something you're looking for, simply use that search bar, plug in those keywords, and it'll take you to, it'll show you where that information is available on the site, and you can click and get to it. We're going to go over next to Davy Connect. So this site is for all employees of the company. So Davy Connect is available. Obviously, I'm on a computer, but it is also a mobile app that we definitely encourage you to download. It's set up a lot kind of like an Instagram feed where there's all kinds of posts on information, whether it be announcements, interesting information, contests that are going on, things that are happening, how to do certain functions, things that are going on in different service lines, things of that nature. But it also will give you easy access to all of the different resources that are available. So at the very top of your screen, there's going to be these quick links, and we can expand that to see all of them. So if we take a look at these quick links, so Davy Connect is going to be super easy, or make it super easy to access all of these different resources that we've been talking about. We can click and get into success factors from here. We can log into the learning management system, the LMS, from here. A lot of your online courses will work from your mobile device. Some of the older ones or very large courses might not work very well. You might have to do them from a computer, but a good number of them should work from your mobile device. This DRG UVM takes you to DRG Connect that we were just looking at. If you use Concur for expenses on your account, we can access SAM. This is where you claimed your email address and where you'll sometimes have to go and update your password and things like that. The Employee Ownership Corner, Human Resources Hub. Here's the Davy Voice. So maybe you need to report a concern. You can do that directly from this Davy Voice quick link within the app. Health and Safety Center. If you're interested in Davy logoed apparel, accessories, if you're looking for uniforms or safety gear, that type of thing, we can access some catalogs here. IT Help Center. So any type of technical issue that you're having, maybe with equipment on the job, reach out to them. Maybe you're trying to get your work email onto your personal device and you're having some issues, reach out to them. They can help you with that. Here's that close call communicator. If you're in the field and have a close call, you can jump into your Davy Connect app, go to that close call communicator link and submit that right off to the safety department as well. So all these things we've been talking about, you can find and access almost all of those from Davy Connect. I'll jump into this Human Resources Hub. So when you click onto these quick links, it'll bring up kind of a table of contents page first, and then you can jump in there. Here we've got an HR and payroll call routing list. So if you're looking for a specific somebody for a specific issue, you can jump in and see that list and who it might be the best person to call for your question. Information on all of your different insurances, mental health resources that are available to employees, employee benefit programs. Let's jump into that here real quick. So this is some of those additional benefits that are available to us that if nobody tells you about them, you're not going to be able to take advantage of them. So we talked about the referral bonus program. We talked about the scholarships. We do have an emergency assistance program for employees. There's specific situations that if you are in an emergency situation and you need some extra help, that you can apply for that assistance. If you make charitable contributions to different groups, we have a matching gift program where you can apply for Davy to also donate a matching contribution. Hinge Health, this is kind of like joint and body ergonomic. It's a therapy program that's available because of the type of work that you and most of our employees are doing. It can be kind of hard on your body, and this Hinge Health is something to just kind of keep you healthy. Quit for Life program for smoking cessation, paid parental leave information, child care discount programs that are available, fertility support that's available as well. Back to, it kicks you out every time you move through it. The retirement plan information, employee affinity groups. There's a Latinx group, there's an LGBTQ plus group, there's a BIPOC group, there's a veterans group. If that's something that you're interested in engaging with others with, you can find information on those groups. Discounts and perks, let's click into there. So there is an employee discount program for Davy services. If you have work that needs to be done on your property, you can get a 20% discount on our services. A personal PC upgrade program. So if you are in the market for a home computer of your own, you can check that program out. Cell phone discounts through Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T for your own personal accounts. I know for me, for Verizon, all I had to do was show proof of employment to get that discount. Again, childcare discount programs. Employee vehicle discount program. So if at some point you're in the market for a new vehicle, we can get discounts from Chrysler, Ford, and GM. So if you jump in there, it'll walk you through how to get the discount code, take that to your dealership. You get a little bit of extra kicked off of there. We can get discounts on choice hotels for ourselves, American National Insurance. What else here? ISA discounts for employees and things of that nature. So kind of some cool stuff that's available for us here in that HR hub under the discounts and perks and that type of thing. So kind of some cool stuff there. So Davy Connect, another site to pop in here, click around into these different quick links and see what's available to you, what kind of information you can find in that type of thing. To really help you navigate all the things that are available to us. So if you got one of the new employee experience guides with your welcome email, but that employee experience guide has access information to all of these sites that we've talked about today. All right, like as I said, if you have any questions after the fact or at any time, reach out to me. I really look forward to working with all of you going forward. Be safe out there. And like I said, I look forward to working with all of you going forward. Thanks so much for your time today.